The Evergreen Wizard. Said Ali Sibtain Naqvi. Born December 10, 1932. Birthplace Amroha, Uttar Pradesh, India. 74 years young, Said Ali Sibtain Naqvi can be bracketed among those versatile personalities the sports world has seen. Turning 75 on December 10, Naqvi is from the hockey Gharana of India, Uttar Pradesh. Born in Amroha, the passion he had for the game of hockey cannot be gauged by a normal instinct, but one needs to wind back to those days when he actually picked up the stick. Well, Naqvi is one of those living personalities who had shared the mesmerizing moments with Indian legends Dhyan Chand, K.D. Singh Babu and many others. Tears trickled down when Naqvi witnessed the current state of Indian hockey, once the proud national game.
During my association with the Oman Olympic Committee, I had the privilege and honor to be personally congratulated and given a special commendation by IOC President John Antonio Samraj and the Olympic Council of Asia, several officials. I have the honor to be associated with Mr. Suresh Kalmadi, the President of the Indian Olympic Association, and the Secretary General of Indian Olympic Association and the Olympic Council of Asia, Raja Ranjit Singh, on several occasions.
Hi, I am Saleh Tacha. Now we are going to witness a colorful documentary prepared on one of the most prominent sports personalities, or I would say the evergreen wizard of hockey, Sri S.C.A.S. Naqvi. The preparation for such a documentary was really a huge task, but in the end it looked so simple due to the wonderful support we got from our well-wishers and of course our most dedicated team. We have top dignitaries passing their comments on Naqvi's human service to hockey in a wider perspective and Oman sports in general. To be precise, Naqvi has been the personality behind establishment of Oman Olympic Committee way back in 1983. Now let's listen to the comments of our Honorable Minister of Sports Affairs, His Excellency Ali bin Masood bin Ali Al Sunaidi.
Mr. Naqvi is a friend to Oman. He's more of a friend to Oman than a coach or a trainer. What I gather is that he was able over the last 2 decades or so to become part of the weaving of sports in Oman. And his early commitments in 1982 with the Hockey Association, as well as the further work he did for the Oman Olympic Committee, will bear witness that people like him who devoted their life to helping sports in general and became professionals in what they do leave behind a good trace always. From those who dealt with him in the early years, they have mentioned him as a man of zeal, a gentleman who respected his job, but also was there to contribute. And I really hope that people like him become remembered not for what they've done, but for what they leave behind for others to carry on and continue to do. We in Oman have gone through phases of development in terms of sports, and it was the commitment of people like Said Naqvi who helped in the making of some of these contributions. In terms of hockey, of course, it's a game that we love, and it's a game that is deep-rooted in Oman. And it's a game that also connects us to many Asian countries. that had the same passion for the game. And those ambassadors, like the very distinguished coach that we have here, they were able to bring the sport to the open and make it more of a reality for Oman. I really wish him always luck and continuous support to the game, to us in the Olympic Committee, but also to the movement of hockey as a game in the Asian continent. And I would like to thank him on behalf of the athletes who he trained or represented or refereed at some point of time. And I would like to thank him on behalf of the young who would continue to take further this game, but also for those who are witnessing today the first time ever rally of the torch, coming as one of 22 nations that would be connected those days towards the enhancement of the Olympic movement.
It is a great matter of pleasure and delight for me to address the audience regarding the contribution of Mr. S.S. Naqvi to the development of hockey in India, his role in Indian hockey, both as a player and also as a coach. And for the last 25 years, he has been living and working in the promotion of the sport of hockey in the Sultanate of Oman. I have always found Mr. Naqvi as a wonderful human being. I can very confidently say that Syed Naqvi has been the genuine sports ambassador of India to the Sultanate of Oman. We are representing the nation. I am the ambassador of India at present, the Sultanate, representing the government and the people. But Mr. Naqvi has been a sports ambassador for the last 25 years. It is also a matter of great pleasure for me to note that Naqvi Saab has reached an important personal milestone, 75th birthday. My hearty congratulations, and I would like to convey not only my good wishes, but good wishes of all the lakhs of Indians who are living in the Sultanate for a long life, healthy life, prosperous life, and a life full of still greater milestones in the sports.
I'd like to thank your team to be here today to cover the celebration of 75 years for our college, Mr. Naqvi. We all worked in the sports for several years, maybe about 11 years. I would like to talk about Mr. Naqvi. Actually, Mr. Naqvi, when I came to be the Undersecretary of Youth in 82, end of 82, we start from 1983 with Mr. Naqvi, and he is one of the greatest people who encourage the sports in Oman, and he is working day by night to really to give Omani sports all what he's done with all his experience. He is not only an advisor or and experts. He do everything for sports. And behalf of all our college who's worked in Oman Olympic before and now, and all of the Omani people, we thank Mr. Naqwi for what he done for Oman and for Oman sports. Thank you. Mr. Naqwi, good future, good life, and to be in a good health. And we give him another 75 years, inshallah, and he will be with us. And really, we are not feel he's having an Indian nationality more than he have an Omani nationality, and we are brothers really. And we hope he will be with us here, and we feel this is his country, and we are his brothers, and wish him a good life.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you very much.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It gives me a great pleasure to speak about sports, dear friend Sayyid Ali Septin Naqwi, a top-class hockey player in his heydays, who represented India as a player and then as a coach of the men's and women's hockey team. Naqwi human service to the game of the hockey in India and then Oman since 1982, followed by his role of striker in taking the Oman Olympic movement ahead is well known. As a technical advisor of the Oman Olympic Committee for 18 long years, Naqwi's contributed eventually to the Olympic movement in the Sultanate. His selfless services and diligence as an OOC technical advisor is now an example to be followed. OCC certainly owns to him for its growth and the giant stride taken by the Olympic movement in the Sultanate. His contribution to the game of hockey in the Sultanate first as the first coach of the national team and now as a technical consultant is laudable, and as a former Indian and as a former hockey player, I have heard a lot of praises about him by the Omani players and concerned officials. He is also been the architect of building the existing Oman-India relations stronger through sports and has been actively promoting the game and the Oman-India sporting ties till to date. His continued passion for hockey and involvement with the Oman Hockey Association and the fact that he celebrated his 25 years of services to sports in Oman, which was attended by leading sports figures, and underless his popularity and services to sports. It is a pleasure to know that his students have went on the represented India at World Cup, Olympic Games and Asian Games, and now his disciple Joaquim Carvalho, who also coached Oman, thanks to Naqwi's effort, it is now the coach of India. I feel delighted to speak about his sports ambassador of India in Oman and wish him all the best in the future endeavors, and wish him a healthy, long life.
First of all, I would like to congratulate Mr. Naqawi, and I would like to thank him for inviting me and my colleague, His Excellency Dr. Hamad Ghafri. He is one of the founders of the sports in Oman. Well, this man, Mr. Naqawi, as far as I know, he joined, come to this country in the 80s. I'm afraid in 80s, in 82. And at that time he been called to as advisor or expert for the hockey association in Oman. Mr. Naqawi, his contribution enormously. He did a lot of things, and then he joined the Olympic Committee as well. He's, what can I describe Mr. Naqawi as, a hard worker man, and Mr. Naqawi very loyal to his job. Whatever you give Mr. Naqawi to do, he can do it properly and from his heart.
Mr. Naqwi is something to me. He is my father, actually. He is my teacher. He is the one who taught me what is the Olympic administration, what is the sports administration. So he is everything to me in sports, actually. He is my father. Of course, he is a grandfather to my sons. He is a great-grandfather to my grandsons. We become as a family, actually. So I'm talking in social life. With my family, his family is my family. We are visiting each other in India. They are coming to Muscat. So Mr. Naqwi, I don't want to repeat what they have said. He is a hard worker. Of course he is a hard worker. That's why he is here. So I would like to congratulate him for a long stay in Oman. Without his family, of course, he don't need them. We are his family here in Oman, and we'll continue. Would like to welcome him for a long stay in Oman with a nationality of Oman. To be as Omani, we'll be proud of that, actually.
Mr. Naqvi is now, I know him for more than 24 years here. He is not also, he is like our teacher, our advisor. We learn from him many things. That time, I'm a hockey player, he is already coach. We learn him too much. Not only in hockey, in life things also. Many advice he gave to us. That time, after the hockey, I think from which years you went to Olympic Committee?
85.
85.
84 until I was in hockey.
Yeah, he is Olympic. We have every time, any advice, anything we are going only because he is a lover of the hockey. He is most times working for the hockey, not for Olympic Committee. Any time, any letter, anything, any advice, we are going to him. He is a father of Oman's hockey. I went to Bombay. I meet Mr. Pasi. I think that time.
Tel Pasi, Secretary General for Indian Hockey Federation.
And yes, that time he introduced me with Mr. Naqvi. We sit together and we make our discussion and agreement. After I think 82 you come here, no?
Yeah, 82 July.
July. That same times after I think in September we have Asian Game Fair in New Delhi.
Yes, it was December, October, December, November, December.
November, December, New
Asian
Delhi.
Game.
First Oman participation in Asian Game. I am as a chief division that time. Before we are going to New Delhi, then we went to Karachi, I think, for the
camping. First we
camping.
went for camp for the Karachi before going to Delhi.
But the best, I told you, the best result we get from our life in Asian Game that time, he is our coach. The very good result. After that we participated in I think, in Hiroshima and Bangkok, but the good result we get that time in New Delhi.
Mr. Naqvi, I knew him straight away since he came as a hockey coach, but there was no very close working relation, and then he was posted when Olympic Committee was formed, and then he was transferred to Olympic Committee. In Olympic Committee, there was in 1985, when I became the president of Oman Athletic Association, then I came to know him better. He was there since 1983, but I came to know him better because of the activities that Athletic Association work with an Olympic Committee. Then in 1994 to 98, I was posted as Vice President of Olympic Committee, and I was his immediate colleague, or put it, I don't want to say as a boss, because we work as a team, and he was a very energetic person, well informed, and we used to work many hours together, and by our immediate respond with International Olympic Committee, the Olympic Committee sent a letter to Oman to say this is one of the best Olympic committees in Asia. Thank you, and I wish Mr. Naqvi all success in his future.
First of all, I would like to congratulate Mr. Naqvi of his 75th birthday, and also the 60 or 65-year anniversary in the hockey, as far as hockey is concerned. Well, Mr. Naqvi is, of course, I don't want to add whatever my colleagues said, but Mr. Naqvi is my coach when I was playing hockey in 1982, actually. So he was my coach, and we participated during an Asian game in '82. That time he was the coach, and he is actually a good coach. Then, of course, as far as hockey is concerned, Mr. Naqvi is well known in the world hockey, especially in India and elsewhere, as far as hockey is concerned. And Mr. Naqvi is our teacher. You can say he's our teacher and coach and expert. He is well known in hockey as a player, umpire, coach, and technical expert.
I knew Mr. Naqvi since 1982. 1982 to 1984, Mr. Naqvi was the head coach of the hockey in the Sultanate of Oman. And after that, he is involved, or he's changed his career from coaching to technical affairs in Olympic Committee. And he took that responsibility to develop Olympic Committee in various the technical matters, and he was there as a founder, first of all, I will say, and he is same time as a guide to develop the young Omani to take care of the Olympic Committee, and take care of Olympic Committee in various sports, not only in hockey. And with his knowledge and experience and wide experience, he been able to achieve the goal of the need of the Omani Olympic Committee. And he worked there up till 2002 as a technical man, and because of his health and operation he had done 2002 or 2003, he retired from Olympic Committee, but he is still in Oman as an advisor for Oman Hockey Association. During his time as a coach, he managed to, I will say, made the foundation of hockey in international levels. And he have seen a talent player playing in the various clubs available at that time, which one of them is myself, And during his time, the hockey standard has raised, and the other coaches, when they came back, they took it from there. But the foundation was made by Mr. Naqwi. Well, Mr. Naqwi, because of his involvement in the technical committee in the association and his experience in the Olympic Committee, he managed to guide us to how to spread the hockey in the Sultanate of Oman. And with his advice, we are found it is the right way to spread the hockey into the Sultanate. I pray to my God to give him long life and to give him a health, and he is always have a place in our hearts, and wish him all the best for the remaining career of his life.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to come and talk about Mr. Naqwi, the leading key of promoting hockey in Oman, as he was an international player in India. I know him since he was umpiring our league in Oman when I was playing at that time. Mr. Naqwi is very well known now here, and he has helped a lot to Oman Hockey Association to just keep this game in progress always and promoting it in better ways. We have this game was only played in Muscat area, which is only Muscat. Now, Alhamdulillah, we have games played in three major regions. Is Batna region, which we have about seven teams. Maybe it was maybe before or more if the merge has not took place in the clubs. We have also 5 clubs playing in Dhafar region. So we have quite good teams now. If you count all together with Muscat, the league is very strong, and Alhamdulillah, we expect more and more spread for this game all over Sultanate, inshallah.
My association with Mr. Naqvi is not very new. In fact, my association with him is very old, and he's like a father figure to me and my wife. In fact, to be very frank, we have been associated with him not now since very long time, and since the day Mr. Naqvi came to Oman, we have been with them as a family, basically. And I have very high regard for the work which he has done for Oman Olympic Committee and for the Hockey Association in Oman. I think it's a very rare opportunity for all of us to have such a personality who can do so much for the community. And not only that, he has been giving support to every other field also, in fact, and his guidance. And to be very frank, his association with us is that my father-in-law and he has worked together in the railways, and my wife is like his daughter, in fact. So for me, he is just like my father figure. I prompted him that all these memories which he has collected should be put in a sort of a documentary which should be given to the at least as a gift to his with whom he has worked for so many years, like his superiors, or the Oman government, and the Indian part, I would say, presented to the Indian government, that this is all this he has put in. And I think it is very important that such memories cannot be just lost. It should be preserved, because they are national
treasure, in fact. It's a treasure for the nation.
I working with Mr. Naqvi is I think so is about 18 years from 1985 up to 2001. He's working with the Olympic Committee, and that time I'll be also working in the same Olympic Committee. We learn a lot from Mr. Naqvi, even for about the sports. He's teach us about everything about sports because we are coming from the school direct to the Olympic Committee, and Olympic Committee, they take care about all the association, about all the gym.
At that time there was His Highness Sayyid Tariq, Sayyid Abbas, and there was so many big personalities used to take very keen interest in particularly in hockey games. Mr. Naqvi, he came, and I can say that the day he landed, probably I was the first man to meet him. And most of the time he was with me. And I can say, really, he's a really sportsman and very friendly man.
Mr. Naqvi, as far as I know him, it was about 1964 when I saw him first when I came to Bombay as a player, that he was representing Western Railway. He was a live wire in the team, an outstanding forward for the Western Railway, and during that period not only he played for Western Railway, he coached the various teams. Punjab Sports, he was the anchor. He also was the coach of the Punjab Sports. He was the person who has brought in all under 15 boys at the various groups, coached them, brought them up to the level so that they could represent various teams in Bombay and in the country. And ultimately they have donned the colors of the nation at the Asians, the world sports. He is a dedicated sportsman who has given abundance, zeal and energy to the game of hockey and the Western Railway, his parent organization. And he has given undoubtable service to the Indian hockey as umpire, teaching the juniors to come up to referee the matches. Now he has gone abroad where I understand he has contributed handsomely to the establishment of the Oman Hockey Association. Besides, he has also been architect in establishing the Oman Olympic Association and has done pretty well by representing the boys into the Asian stream, and he has been doing remarkable work in the field of hockey and for the nation of Oman. And we always, as usual, being his parents, looking up to him to spread the gospel of the sports in the continents around India, so that the India's name is shining ever in the field of sports, particularly in hockey. And with this, I know, wish him the very best, not only from Bombay and the countrymen playing hockey here, but the whole of India. I can say, being the member of the Indian hockey, that God should look after him and for the balance days left for his life.
Mr. Naqvi, after spending a fantastic career in hockey as a player, He moved on to coach the small boys and children of different schools and at the junior level. The first time he got an opportunity to coach the Indian team was in 1973 to 75, and in 75 we won the World Cup. And then there was Mr. Kartar Singh from Delhi. He brought him to the women's hockey. He was coach of the women hockey team in 1978 at Madrid, and in 79 at Moscow at the Four Nation Hockey Tournament. Mr. Naqvi's coaching abilities needs no introduction. I think the players which he has produced speaks volumes about his talent and the method of his coaching, which I think the current coaches also use those coaching methods.
Well, I was fortunate to have been associated with Oman Hockey thanks to Mr. SAS Naqvi, one of the most dedicated and most honored coaches, administrators that not only India has seen but the world. And it was he who gave me this opportunity to go and coach the Oman youngsters. And for that I'm grateful to Mr. Naqvi, who's been doing a human service over there to Oman hockey and Oman sport, both as a hockey coach and now as an administrator and also as a consultant. Well, it goes back to the 70s when I was here in school, and Mr. Naqvi along with Pandey, along with the late Mr. Pandey and the late Terence Fernandez were the talent scouters. They were the three musketeers, I would say, and their dedication, their love for the game, I just can't describe. It was Mr. Naqvi along with the other two late stalwarts who spotted me in school, and I've yet to come across people, and especially Naqvi, when they used to come over to my house when I used to miss a single day's practice to find out as to what is wrong to choke him. And till today, I still remember this incident when at the Naigam police ground, whilst practicing for Punjab Sports, I was hit on the jaw, and I didn't turn up for practice the next day. And Mr. Naqvi, along with the late Pandey, came and dropped into my house. I was shocked to see them over there. So that was their love, that was their dedication, and the love that they have for the youngsters. And Mr. Naqvi was, I would say, also instrumental in shaping up my career, and whatever I am today, it's thanks to this grateful gentleman. 1976 was the junior nationals at Belgaum, and that was the first year I was selected for the state team. And nobody gave us the chance to win the nationals or even to go past the first round. But Mr. Naqvi was our coach, and what he did was, it's a very great learning experience which I even put to practice now as a coach, and not forgetting some of his drills, which I still use it in modern day hockey. What was great was that from that group of 1976, the four of us went on to play for the Olympics in 1980-84, and that was something very great. I don't think any coach has achieved that, and any group of boys playing together as a team for your state team has gone on to play for the Olympics, and not 1 and 2 Olympics, three Olympics. So that was a great achievement for Mr. Naqvi, which I don't think many people know about it.
Mr. S.S. Naqvi was the coach of the Oman team in 1982, and he came for the 1998 Asian Games with us to Bangkok, where our team won the gold medal after 32 years, and Dhanraj Pillai was the captain of the team. Dhanraj, do you remember your interaction with Mr. Naqvi?
Yes, I remember very much, and I was very happy to be, to see Nakwi uncle, because first I seen him in 1992 Barcelona Olympics. That time I was very young, but in 1998 when I met uncle, it was like an honor that I am meeting a person who represented uh, Bombay, represented India, and he was there for the Indian camp. He gave me a very special gift, which is it touched my heart, and also my Indian hockey players. He made very good plates, and with that, the photographs of four hockey players of Indian player, and we felt very happy that uncle has recognized the Indian hockey magistrates are there, and he was praising Indian team. He was talking about Indian, because I also become a Bombay player, and uncle was playing for Bombay and he coached a Bombay team. So I was very happy to meet uncle that time. And there are a lot of memories when I visited Oman, when I visited uncle's house. I seen museum of hockey. It is like a really to see a person who's very passionate about hockey, and he has kept from 19, I don't know, from 1932, from Dada Dhyanchand till my generation. And when I entered in the house, I saw it is like a museum. I could see all hockey players photographs, all hockey, old hockey, new hockey jerseys, and some paper cuttings. And so I was really happy that this kind of person also living in our country. Yes, Nakvi uncle has given lot for Bombay. Nakvi uncle has given lot to the Indian hockey players who are represented, and then they went to Oman and played National League of Oman. Some of the boys junior to me who's working there now, and from Oman they shifted to Dubai, or they are getting job. And behind this man, behind this all, only one person was there, that is Nakvi uncle, because a lot of players has been made their life through hockey, and Nakvi uncle has given them an opportunity to play in Oman league. So I feel that every player respect, every Indian hockey player respect Nakvi uncle, because he is the person who really admirable, and everybody likes Nakvi uncle. We require person like Nakvi uncle in our country, who's you know dedicated for only hockey, who want to see that Indian hockey should win a Olympic medal in the Olympics and the World Cup and Asian Games and all, because he want to see, because whenever he talks to me, he feels that India should win Olympics medal, World Cup medal, so that we are again should be back in the podium, and world hockey should recognize Indian hockey, because we are once upon a time we were very good. We used to win. We never saw defeat, because continuously we won 6 Olympic gold medal. We are the 8th-time Olympic champion. So that all desires are there. We require person like Nakvi uncle, who can really uh, think that India can win. A person like him should come and coach Indian team, or give some tips to the young generation, how they used to play, how passionate they were when Dada Dhyanchand and KD Singh Babu and senior Balbir Sahab, and here also in Bombay, Joe Antique and all, they were there. Junior Balbir Singh, Western Railway. So uncle used to talk about all that, the legendary of Indian hockey. So we used to hear through uncle, because uncle has played with Leslie Gladius, Uddam Singh and all. So we used to get a lot of passionate that uncle has played with everybody, but so simple. When we went to Muscat, uh, the Indian ambassador was like welcoming uncle. So we felt so happy that uncle, not only uncle has done in his own country, but uncle has given something in Oman hockey also.
Beautiful.
And everybody, the respect which uncle got there, I never seen any other sports person. And everybody, not only hockey players, from the federation also, if any function is organized by Oman Hockey Association, the first name will be uncle's name is there in their list. So uncle has given lot of happiness to Oman hockey. Uncle has given lot of happiness to Indian hockey also. So I wish uncle a very fruitful life, and uncle should enjoy his life now, because uncle has done lot for hockey.
In 75 was my first year at Junior Nationals, and I had an opportunity to get exposed to the best possible standard of play. It was the Pune Nationals in 75, and gradually over the next couple of years I started adjusting well to the new game, if you may call it that. And fortunately we had coaches like Mr. Naqvi, Mr. Pandey, people who in our formative years gave us the basic training in hockey. I think Mr. Owen Ferreira also, who was our coach in college. So between the three of them, I think Mr. Naqvi, Mr. Pandey and Mr. Owen Ferreira, we got our grounding in basics was very strong, and probably that held us in very good stead in our future career. My father used to be involved with hockey here, and he used to be the manager of the Bombay team. And I remember Mr. Naqvi playing in anklets for the Western Railway, and they had a very fearsome forward line, the likes of Balbir, Gurbaks, Puran, Karim and Naqvi. That was a very fearsome forward line, and you would have a packed crowd at Bombay every time to watch them. So I was one of those, and I knew Mr. Naqvi from close quarters through my father. So it was not a very new association in 1975 when he became our coach, and we got on very well. And I must say he was a very dedicated coach. He spent a lot of his time on the hockey field and giving back to the game from what he had benefited as a player. So I think it was his training and his probably overall strategy that helped us in 76 to win the tournament, something we've not been able to do after that. In 76 we won the Junior Nationals in Belgaum. Hats off to my coaches, especially Mr. Naqvi and Mr. Pandey and Mr. Owen Ferreira, who really helped me during my formative years. Hope he continues to serve hockey in the manner he has done, which I'm sure gives him all the satisfaction, and I hope he continues in the same vein right through life.
I do remember Uncle Naqvi Sab, because I remember him when I was a youngster, when I used to watch him in BHA. Then in those days it was grass, not like turf now. And I do remember him with his anklets, and he was a very speedy right winger. Am I right in saying so? Because those were the best days and the best hockey that we have seen. And Terence Fernandez, I didn't see him, but I've heard a lot from my father, because my father and Terence Fernandez and Uncle Naqvi and all these gentlemen played great hockey then, and it used to be a treat to watch them play fabulous hockey. In fact, we used to hear a lot of things about Uncle Naqvi looking after the Oman national team and also the welfare of hockey there, and I believe that he was associated with the Olympic Association also, which is quite creditable considering the fact that he was involved in the game and to go to a foreign soil and make a name for himself. So we were very happy for that, and fortunately for us, since I was the coach of the Indian Airlines team, we had an opportunity to go there and enjoy the fantastic hospitality of Uncle Naqvi over there.
I remember right from my childhood, I grew up in an atmosphere surrounded by hockey greats of that time. We were staying in Western Railway Colony at Matunga in Mumbai, and I remember our next door neighbor was Kishan Dada, the Indian Olympic captain. Two other flats were occupied by Olympian Mr. Joe Antic and Siddiqui uncle. Then I remember one of the first teams that my father coached was our school team, Don Bosco High School, where I studied, and I played hockey for that team. Later on, he coached the Punjab Sports Club hockey team, a local league team in Mumbai, where many of the promising youngsters were given chance to play. I was also part of Punjab Sports hockey team. Later on, many of us from the Punjab Sports hockey team went on to play for the Bombay in the juniors and senior nationals. We had players like Joachim Carvalho, Mayur Pandey, Mukul Pandey, from Marcellus Gomes, Joachim Carvalho, Somaya, Diego D'Souza, Mervyn Fernandez, who represented Bombay in the junior nationals. This team was coached by my father. I remember in 1976 when we went for the Belgaum Nationals. We were all very young. The team was coached by my father, and nobody gave us a chance to win that tournament. However, despite all odds, the Bombay team won the junior national hockey tournament at Belgaum that year. In 1982, my father got a chance to go to Oman to coach their hockey team, which was to participate in the 1982 Asiad at Delhi. He went there as the coach of the Oman hockey team. At that time, he was coaching the Mumbai Customs hockey team. He had taken up charge of the Mumbai Customs hockey team. He had to leave that charge and he had to go to Oman. Thereafter, he has settled over there and he has not come back since. After coaching the Oman Olympic team, the authorities at Oman found him to be very useful, his services to be very useful, and they retained him over there, and he founded their Oman Olympic Committee, which had since then not been formed, and he had been put as in charge of their Oman Olympic Committee in the post of a technical advisor. Ever since he has been there, I think my father has a unique achievement of having represented the Oman contingent in almost each and every game where Oman has participated from 1982 onwards to 2004, be it the Olympics or the Asian Games or the Gulf Games. He has participated as part of the official Oman contingent in all these games. My father always takes pride in remembering the fact that he was recommended to Western Railway in Bombay by none other than K.D. Singh Babu and Dhyan Chand. They referred him to some authorities in Mumbai, Bombay it was known at that time, and he got a job in Western Railway. Thereafter, when he started umpiring and coaching, he was encouraged a lot by two persons whom he never forgot, the late Mr. Kartar Singh of the Indian Women's Hockey Association and Mr. K.L. Pasi, the Secretary of the Mumbai Hockey Association. For almost each and every match I used to accompany him when I was young to see Western Railway playing, and Western Railway were a very great team at that time. My father used to play at the right out position and he was known as P.D. Naqvi. So I got a lot of inspiration and encouragement from them when I started playing for school, thereafter for college and the local league. Then I represented Bombay in the seniors and juniors. I got a job in customs because of hockey, and well, today I am what I am today because of hockey and the encouragement that I received from my father. His Excellency Mr. Hamad Al Ghafri, big source of encouragement to my father in Oman. Mr. Saleh bin Khalifa, Mr. Daud. So I know a few of them, I have met them, and they have been of great help to my father. Mr. Mohammad Shambe, of course.
भाई नकवी साहब तो मैं बता चुका हूँ ना पहले भी आपको कि नकवी साहब की बदौलत मैंने जो ज़्यादा तरक्की की है सिर्फ नकवी साहब की बदौलत। मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि मैं उठने में बहुत काहिल था, ये 4 बजे रात आके मुझे उठाते थे और ये चलो 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 करके मैं उठ जाता था। मेरे पास कार हुआ करती थी, हम लोग दोनों कार में जाते थे, जू में हम कार खड़ी करके भागना शुरू करते थे, मैं 2 राउंड में बैठ जाता था, नकवी साहब पता ही नहीं चलता था कहाँ गए कहाँ से आए, और वो हमें ढूंढते भी बैठे थे, मैं जगह जाके लेट जाता था।
सिद्दीकी साहब बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया,
अरे नहीं
बहुत
साहब,
अच्छा टाइम आपने दिया।
नहीं नहीं हमारी तो बड़ी नवाजिश और आपका बहुत मैं शुक्रगुजार हूँ जो आपने ये किया, हमारी यादें पूरा याद ताज़ा करा दी।
If you recall 1978, 1979, when we decided to start the customs team again, of course in the 30s and the 40s customs were a very legendary team. 1936 when Dhyan Chand was the captain, that time I think we had 5 or 6 players from Bombay Customs. Then after independence, when the players migrated to Australia, we had a sort of a lull in the hockey team of Bombay Customs. Once again in 1978 when we decided to start the customs team all over again, it was Mr. Naqvi specifically who took the initiative of restarting the customs team. And to everybody's surprise, the quality of the players that were recruited was so good that in the first year itself, I think we entered the Super League. We won 4 or 5 tournaments.
I think we won all the tournaments from the junior side, and then we graduated to senior
Super League.
Super League, yes.
That was the first year, and then we played more than half a dozen tournaments all over India with a very good success rate. Well, his outstanding, asset or whatever you can call it was his dedication to the game. I mean, I do recall when he used to work nights, in the railways. And then before, on so many occasions, we were on the ground, we could see the figure of Mr. Naqvi, clean shaven, powdered, standing on the ground with a newspaper. And then we used to really think, my God, this man has worked whole night, we have slept, and yet he is first on the ground. That is what has helped us, in our job, to have that sort of sense of dedication. And that is why you will surely admit that great deal of your present success is due to those values which you learned from Mr. Naqvi. Hats off to him. I think on a few occasions when Bombay has won the juniors or some success in the national tournaments, Mr. Naqvi was the key point. I think he was a coach when the players who later on went to don the Indian colours like Somaya, Marcellus Gomes, Joaquim Carvalho, Mervyn Fernandes, they were all part of the squad which were trained by Mr. Naqvi in their formative years.
Yes, 1976.
76 or something I think they won. And all these fellows went on to become national heroes, national stars, whatever you can call it. Apart from Mr. Naqvi's performance as a coach, I also can never forget Mr. Naqvi's performance as a player. Oh, those days were the days of magical Indian hockey.
I know Naqvi Saab since he used to play for Western Railway. The first time I saw him was a match against the Punjab team, and it was the semi-final of the Aga Khan. And I remember having gone for the match at 3 o'clock, although the match was scheduled for 4:30, and that stadium was jam-packed. And Mr. Naqvi was playing on the right side. I did not know who Mr. Naqvi was that time. Then I asked somebody who is this gentleman, the short pants, stocky figure, and with so much of speed, and so much of stick work. Then they told me this gentleman by the name of Mr. Naqvi. Then I asked my dad, डैडी ये नकवी साहब ये कौन है? तो बोले नहीं वो बहुत पुराने प्लेयर हैं, हमारे दोस्त हैं. तो मैं उन ज़माने से इनको जानता हूँ. And I happen to be associated with him with so many other teams. He was my coach, and he has taught me a lot of hockey. And I owe a lot to him because I have really learned the game, the finer points of the game through Mr. Naqvi. And he has been really a father figure, and you can say the elder brother to me and everybody in my family. He has been closely associated not only with me with so many other players. And he has brought up so many players, junior players in Bombay, like Joaquim Carvalho, Mr. Marvin Fernandez, Mr. Marcellus Gomes, and so many of the youngsters, and they were really very fortunate to be, coached by Mr. Naqvi. Mr. Naqvi was associated with coaching the Punjab sports team also, and you will not believe it, that was one of the most, sought after teams that time in the whole of Bombay, because we really had a very, very young outfit with only school boys and college players in it. And Mr. Naqvi was a coach, and you can imagine school boys and college boys playing in Super League.
And you used to beat some of the top teams in India at that time.
We have beaten so many good teams. We used to play alongside Western Railway, Gurbakh Singh, Balbir Singh, Antek, and so many other players, And we really performed well that time, and he was our coach that time. I would like to stress another point here. Mr. Naqvi was instrumental in bringing up the Customs hockey team, and he was the person who bought players from combined universities. He bought Negi, he bought Iqbaljit, he bought Kuldeep Singh, and he gelled the team into such a fighting unit that we were one of the top sides in India that time. And I still remember Naqvi Saab has taken our team for Nehru Cup, he took us to Ubaidullah Cup, he took us to MCC Cup, and that was the real time when we got the exposure, And we were one of the topmost teams in India, and I hope whether you have seen that match when we have played against Indian Airlines.
Yeah, I remember that match. It was, I think, the Aga Khan tournament.
It was the quarterfinals, and Naqvi Saab was the coach, and that was one of the most memorable matches I have ever played. The hockey is totally different now, and it can never come back. Those days will never come back. Let's not discuss about it. And I wish Mr. Naqvi all the best in life, and I hope he lives long and does a yeoman service to the Oman Olympic Association, as he is associated with them for the last 20 to 25 years.
I was very, very fortunate in my lifetime to have as one of my first coaches Mr. Naqvi Saab, who was my coach from the time I was 12 years old. I was fortunate because as a coach I also had a father figure, one of the most dedicated, loving professionals, and taught us to play and love the game. That was very, very, very important. The most important thing in life is when you learn something at the initial stage, it is very important to love something. And as a coach and as a loving father figure, he taught us to love the game more than anything else. And with that, we enjoyed what we were doing. I guess most of the players, when they who were coached under Mr. Naqvi, they did everything out of love, because he was so affectionate to everybody, and the manner of coaching was unbelievable, something which is unreplaced.
I know Naqvi sir as a kid. When standing in the balcony from my building, where great players used to pass to play for Western Railway. One of them was Naqvi sir. I used to go and watch him at the Western Railway ground from the sideline. One of the great players I have ever seen. Most skills he had, great speed. The most important thing about Naqvi sir is discipline. He used to come, the practice used to start about 3 o'clock. He used to be there at around 2:30. And that was the main thing about dynamic, which we learned. And I think so, in future everybody should learn what Naqvi sir had taught us. He gave a lot for Bombay hockey, for railways. He has produced a lot of players. His teaching were very different from the others. The way he molded the youngsters, the way he showed how to trap the ball, the running with the ball control, it was really fantastic about it.
Speak about Mr. Saeed Ali Sibte Naqvi, who is a father-like figure for me. It's a very difficult task. I am definitely short of words to describe his contribution towards Oman sports and hockey in India. He has been one of the finest human beings I have ever come across in my long journalistic life of almost 17 years. I would feel truly honored to speak about Mr. Naqvi, who has been a pioneer in promoting sports in Oman, initially as a coach of the national hockey team, and later on as a technical advisor to the Oman Olympic Committee. While going through his files and his wonderful and marvelous collection of photos and articles, one comes to know that how great his past has been. But the best part is he's still young at heart, he's still so passionate about the game, he's still so enthusiastic about the scores of the country, of India when they play in the hockey, and he's so concerned about the development of Oman sports, whether it's hockey or even any other game in the Sultanate. It's been a wonderful innings for me to share some of his most intimate thoughts, and I feel honored and privileged to be associated with him. As a journalist, I have come across a lot of sports person, but here Mr. Naqvi has been an amazing person who at the ripe age of 75 is still young as a 20-year-old boy who would still like to know what is best in the interest of the game or sports in general. I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Saeed Ali Naqvi for being a guardian, for being a true well-wisher of mine and my family, and I am honored, and I would pray to the Almighty to give him many years of life, and he has the same passion for sports as ever, as always.
Hello, a big hello from Mohandas. Hope you have enjoyed a lengthy documentary of our evergreen wizard, Mr. S.A.S. Naqvi. Compilation for this project was not an easy task, but the task was made easy because of the support of like-minded people. The idea of making this documentary crept up during a casual chat in November 2006. Dia Bijlani vouched for it immediately, and the script was ready within days. We had Sadanand and his crew backing us up from behind the screens. And not to forget Mr. Salih Tasher, who went around making people talk about Mr. Naqvi in IST. I must mention Mr. Ashok Purohit's name here, who is my professional brother and a valiant supporter. Without him, we wouldn't have got certain personalities talking in this documentary. And of course, Mr. Mir Ranjan Negi, who did a human service from India. He talked to various Indian hockey personalities and sent us their views on Mr. Naqvi. My best wishes to Mr. Naqvi, who is like a father to me and to my family. I wish him many more years of hockey, a game which is more than passion to him.